Oh my god. Okay. Okay, somebody explain this fucking shit to me. I uh I just erased uh I erased that story time video, right, which was 20 minutes long. I erased it and then I went to record and I was downloading the Psalms video, which is 20 minutes long. Okay. So 20-minute long Psalms video. Like when I stopped that Psalms recording, I only had like 20 seconds left before my memory was out. Um, but I found that I could erase the storytime video, and so I erased that. And so I'm like, okay, I just erased 20 minutes, so I should have 20 minutes of recording time, so I can record a Psalms video while I'm downloading the other Psalms video, right? But I go to record it, and I only have 8 minutes, you know. Now I just finished downloading the Psalms video, it's 20 minutes long, and I just hit record just now, and it says fucking I have 51 minutes. So I have no idea why it fucked with me like that. But anyways, this Psalm stuff has been fun. Um, you know, again, like I think this Psalms is created by Samuel, right? Um, Now one of the things I love about the Torah is the transformation of character, right? Because like when we see Moses, right? Moses is just this fiery, oh, I'm gonna kick ass. Moses is like this fiery action hero type guy. Oh, kick ass. But then he gains wisdom, and he's more sober minded. Although he still has this fiery heart within him, right? Um, And within what we're reading right now, because again, I think this is Samuel who wrote this. Maybe I could be wrong. Well, I know he wrote some of the psalms. I don't know if he wrote this psalm. Um, but we definitely see this in Samuel's story, right? And in Samuel's story, what do we see? We see a man who's more gentle, right? I mean, Moses is just this firebrand, right? Oh, I kick your ass. Um, well, Samuel, on the other hand, is a self-described gentleman. He's very gentle. He's very loving. He's very, all that stuff. But like, there's this one psalm I read, and I know it was written by him, where he's just like total cold gangster, right? And there's this transformation of character because once, yeah. Anyways, and that goes in the story of Samuel, which I'll get into later. But basically, it's like he realized that he is as the high priest, he needs to do justice, right? Because he had a criticism of the former high priest because this former high priest wasn't getting justice against his own kids, but it's not about that, right? No, and that's not what this. It is that's what makes it more dramatic. That we're dealing with this high priest's kids, right? And but the fact of the matter is that according to Samuel, it's the high priest who's the one who's ultimately in charge of justice. Now, I've talked about Moses before, and I believe that they are just the arbiters of disputes amongst the community, and that justice should be handled by the people. But when the people handle justice, there's going to be controversy every now and then the rabbis will step in and handle the controversy. And if the rabbis can't handle the controversy, and there's still controversy, then the high priest will ultimately step in. And Moses was the high priest, and Samuel was the high priest. But I mean, this is his conception of justice, right? Um, It's the high priest who's in charge of the justice, ultimately. But this is a very, like I would describe the Torah writers as a very weak, not like the modern Jewish religion, which you have these very heavy rabbis, right? No, this is not heavy rabbi shit. No, this is the people handle their own justice and they're free to do whatever they want. Well, the rabbis are living the ultimate bachelor experience and doing whatever they want, right? 'Cause that's what Moses did. You saw Moses, he's this Renaissance man who just loves to learn, and you see him learning and learning, and he's statusing how much he knows throughout all of his text. Like, this is a very learned man. But like, this is what we see within this Samuel, because Samuel's God is a mocking God, right? This is a mocking God, right? But gentle people, gentle men do not like to mock others. Right? They want to see the best in others. They don't want to see they don't want to like condemn, and they want to praise. They want to admire other people. Gentle people aren't like looking down upon, and they want to look up to. But you see this real transformation of character within Samuel, because Samuel, after reading Moses' stuff, realizes this is the true nature of God. And how does he realize the true nature of God? He realizes the true nature of God by becoming wise about human behavior. And once he becomes wise about human behavior, he sees that the ways of the wicked are really silly. They're not these scary things like all of the sheep out there are afraid of the wicked, Moses and Samuel as the shepherds don't want to treat anyone like a sheep. They don't want to manipulate anyone. Samuel would never, ever want to manipulate anyone. He's a gentle, pure man. But as the shepherd, he realizes that there are some people out there who act like idiots, even though they have good hearts. And if they're going to act like idiots, he's going to treat them like an idiot. He's not plotting against them, he's plotting for them, right, as their shepherd. But this is a man who would be against treating someone like a sheep. Like, that's very derisive and mocking language, that you would be a sheep. No, none of us are supposed to be sheep. And that's what I think Samuel realized. It's like, hey, we're all supposed to be shepherds. All of us. None of us are supposed to be sheep, right? I see the Torah as really this thing of freedom, right? Virtue, as some of the classical moralists would say, is freedom, and wickedness is slavery. I think maybe ontological reality, maybe, I don't know what the philosophical word is. I like philosophy, but not Greek philosophy. I like my own philosophy. But anyways, but yeah, no, I totally see this transformation of character, because this gentle man's God is a mocking God. And he only realized that by looking at the nature of what is wickedness and what is virtue. And by finding out what is virtue, he finds out what is God, right? Because that is the real reality of what's going on here. Like, Greek philosophy didn't come onto the scene until after Samuel was long since dead. And so all these stupid Greek philosophers trying to interpret Moses and Samuel within Greek, it's just disgusting, right? And you have all these disgusting people out there who do that. They'll examine Moses and Samuel in the light of Greek philosophy, but no, it's like Moses's and Samuel's God was a God of love. Like he mocks they mock the man without love because they lost. They may win in this life, but that's not what winning is. Winning is love, according to Samuel and Moses, because that is the true nature of God. And so a man without love is to be pitied and mocked. And again, that's another thing that we see. We don't just see a mocking God. We see an angry God. We see a sad God. We see an intimate God. We see a God of many emotions. Much like a woman. Or a man who's bottled it all up and he can't bottle it up anymore. Right? Oh, I love you. Yeah, no, it's speaking of mocking, right? Whatever. Anyways, oh, men are so stupid. But anyways, so I totally love this transformation of character, and I think we could see that in this psalm, because even if this wasn't written by Samuel, the person who wrote it was a student of Samuel, obviously, right? Because Samuel is the second Moses. He's the high priest. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, no, I totally think that's what's going on in this text. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The Lord has them in derision. And what is this Lord stuff about, right? Because I claim that the God of Moses and Samuel is a God of freedom. Is a God of freedom, but that's this Lord stuff here. This Lord stuff is a contradiction to what I'm saying. Right? So what does he mean by the Lord? Like who is this Lord? Like I think he's it may be enticing us to search God's heart, right? If we are images of God, shouldn't we be ourselves searching God's heart, right? Fucking little bitch. Like why should we just like automatically think like he's like awesome? Like shouldn't he have to like prove himself to us? Shit. I mean, isn't trust built with time? All right. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. So again, like I know for a lot of the writers of the Torah, holiness, it means wholeness, meaning this is a sociological distinction, right? A holy person is whole, meaning that their lives are going to be filled with different parts. Work is one of those parts, but also friends are one of those parts. But also family is one of those parts. But also you have two parts at least for yourself. One is rest, and that is a time of just total nirvana, just total duh, where your just body is just chill and fucking rest. Sometimes you have to let the energy in your brain like go down a bit, like totally. But you also need time to develop yourself. How are you to love another if you don't have anything to give? And you need to love yourself, right? And so loving yourself is developing yourself. So there's all these parts to your life, right? This is Buddhist type shit going on, this holiness stuff, right? And to me, one of the amazing things is that recently I've been learning is that the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, they have a religion of total sacrifice, kind of like we have in our day. It's just total sacrifice, all work, and we work hard and we play hard and but you words can just be used vaguely, right? So how is he using holiness here? Does he mean the same thing that all the other Torah writers mean when he uses the word holy? But I think he does. Oh my God, I think he totally does, because what do we see? We see a God who's mocking the wicked, right? But then what do we see? We see a God who's angry and wrathful against the wicked, right? This is a God of many emotions. This is a God that is totally humanistic. This is a God that has many different emotions at one time, right? So I think we see that within this person's God. We see a God who's in derision, but also in wrath and fury. So I think we do see this holiness here, there, right? I will tell of the decree of the Lord. Again, the decree of the Lord, that sounds very tyrannical to me. He said to me, "You are my son. Today I have begotten you." Okay, so begotten, like I really started to understand this word begotten when I started reading the book of Enoch, because it's a like you are a father if you generate another, right? So you can be a physical DNA father to someone else, but if your child, like if you have your ways, but your child decides not to do your ways and do someone else's ways, then guess what? You're not the daddy, right? Someone else generated your child. So this is a God that will shape you and transform you. I think that's what's going on here. I have begotten you, right? This is about transformation. And that's the stories we like, right? We like the stories where the character transforms into a better version of themselves or whatever, right? Like, oh, emotion and like tears and whatever. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage. And the ends of earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron, and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So what I see here is basically like there's that story of the two Jew brothers, and one of them's a hunter, and the other is like this gentle guy of reason, and the second kid ends up getting the inheritance, right? But like if you go to my argument, it's like this father. Like I was at first criticizing him, but then I realized no, this is a Mesopotamian master, right? And what he's doing is he's shepherding his eldest son by like, oh yeah, good job, son. You hunted and you killed. Awesome. You're the best, son. Oh my God. Like, and Ninurta, it is good to praise you. Why is it good to praise you? Because like the son's gonna give you the best fucking meats. Like he will. Like you're gonna get a lot of good meat if you praise Ninurta, right? But he's being mean to his youngest son, right? But this is the definition of searching the heart, right? You put on your face to another, but whether they see you or not, that's not up to you. Even if you lay your heart on your shoulder, they're still not going to see you. Whether they see you or not, that's up to them. This is all the vulnerability of love, right? Um, and so this is a different type of fatherhood here, right? This is a fatherhood that's not um, pussified, right? Like we might say in modern terms. Um, it's dangerous. But when dealing with the heart, you're dealing with dangerous material. Um, and so I think that's what it means to break someone with a rod of iron. I think like another simple example would be like in England and America, these are very guilt-driven societies, right? And so if someone's living a holy life, then according to the English or the Americans, then they're being lazy, right? Oh, you lazy. Why aren't you like being productive? But this is about holiness. Again, there's this play on the word prosperity here, right? Because they're not just talking about a physical prosperity, right? They're talking about mental and emotional prosperity, the joy of the joy of family and friends and love and all that stuff. They're talking about a different type of prosperity. They're not just talking about physical prosperity. And so for people who grow up in in a guilt-driven society, um, you got to break them. You got to fucking break them in order to get them out of that mentality where they got to be busy, 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 they can't just take the time to just chill, smoke some weed and read the Bible if they wanted to, right? But yeah, no, I think holiness is fucking cool. Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O you rulers of the earth, right? So, O kings, be wise, right? I mean, what makes you a king, right? Is it your plots? You're gonna get one over on some unsuspecting fool. Oh, that makes you amazing, right? But I mean, time means nothing. Time means nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter that you killed the good man and you had victory on this earth. Oh, you killed the good man. I mean, I saw this one movie scene one time where you had two karate guys, and they were gonna fight to the death, and one guy pulled out a gun and he started this monologue where he's like, after he kills them, and he's like, you may think I'm weak because I didn't fight fair, but you are dead and I am alive, therefore I win, right? And it's like, that's the total opposite of what's being said in these texts, right? Because you win if God and the angels cheer you on, and you lose if they mock you. So you could live to 90 years old and they're going to mock you. And when you pass on to the other side of the veil, you're going to see that they're fucking mocking you. because you have no love in your heart, and you're settling for, you know, a bunch of parasites who want your prosperity, and you don't have true love in your life. You don't have true love in your life, so they mock you. And you will have to either enter into eternal bitch denial, which is hell, or go through the pain of God's mockery. Right? You have to go through the pain of God's mockery. And you have to purge yourself as you realize God mocked you for your so-called victories on this earth. Right? This is a spiritual text. And this is a spiritual text that rises above materialism. Right? So what makes you a king? What makes you a king is that God cheers you on. You know, God cheered Billy the Kid on, even though he lost. Right? The wicked landowner, the wicked aristocratic landowners of New Mexico won. The wicked aristocratic landowners of America won, and Billy the Kid lost. But no, not in the eyes of Yahweh. In the eyes of Yahweh, here's this fucking buck fighting for justice. Right? So what makes you a king? That you can buy a Bugatti or build a Bugatti? Because if you can build a Bugatti, you're a king. If you can buy a Bugatti, you're nothing. You're not a fucking thing. So be wise. Be wise, O kings. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear. With trembling kiss his feet, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. So, I mean, here we see this, like this sounds like a tyrannical God. It does. It sounds like, oh my God, this is a totally fucking tyrannical God, right? But this right here is real tyranny. Let us burst their bonds asunder. You know, let us rip families apart. Let us isolate people and break up friendships before they develop. Let us arrest people's development. Break their bonds with themselves. Like, that's tyranny. And then the God of this writer is against tyranny. This is not a God that wants you to serve him with fear. This is a God that wants you to be fearless. Right? Because when God is angry, when his wrath and his fury are there, he's fearless. And if God is fearless, and this is the God of Moses, and you're the image of God, then you should be fearless. Right? So the fear, the fear that you should have within this text. See, this is why I like this. The fear that you should have for the Lord. Like, what does that mean? That totally contradicts everything he's saying. Like, you guys need to fucking learn how to read. Because this is not a God that I would want to serve, that I would want to tremble at his feet and kiss his feet. Oh, you're the best. You know, and like prop up his insecurity. Like, oh, don't be angry with me. Like, what should you fear? What should you fear? You should fear that you do not have any love in your heart. That the image that you think you are is just actually pride. and that you're malicious in ways or greedy in ways, and and that you don't see. If you don't see properly, then your soul is in danger. And I think that's what's going on here. It's like we're we are a battle. Like there's a battle within us. Like there's a Karen within you all. I'm sorry, but there is a Karen within you all. There's malice and greed within us all, right? I mean, there's this philosophical thought that says, everything's selfishness, but that's bullshit, because that could be true. It could be. Everything could be selfishness, but the problem is that we don't know. We could never say whether someone else's actions is pure or selfish. It's a mystery. And it will always be a mystery. And you can't say that everything is selfish, because you could be wrong. It could be pure. You don't know. And it's a weak philosophical position in my mind. I mean, it could be true. Everything could be selfish. But but there's no way to prove that. There's no way to prove the binary. Again, we're talking about the soul of the binary. Is it pure love, or is it selfish? 1 and a 0. There's no way to prove that for anyone else. And so it's a question that can never be answered except within the sanctuary of your heart. You're like, no, this person says they love me, but they don't. Right? So I think that is the fear that he's talking about here. He's talking about the fear that we should all have, that maybe we're not as awesome as we think we are, And maybe there's some improvements that we need to make to our behavior and even our soul. Maybe there is malice within us that we need to purge before we die. That is the fear that I think he's talking about, because this is a bullshit. Fuck this Lord. I don't want to kiss this asshole's feet just to prop up his insecurity. Shit. That's not the God that is being portrayed here. This is either nonsensical, poetic bullshit here, or he's trying to teach us about the nature of his God, and I think he's doing that.